In today's Black Clover video, we will explain Yuno's new power up from the Underworld. In our last video, we explained how Yuno's magic stone is connected to the Underworld. And today, we will show you exactly how and why Yuno will use this power. It is said that in Yuno's magic stone, there is a spell that allows the user of the stone to get whatever they want from the Underworld. Is it possible that Yuno was able to stop the time in the dungeon because he used the magic stone? And thus the time magic of the time devil, because he wanted more time at that moment. Also, only a small percentage of the people who watch our videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. Please enjoy this video, let's go! A few days ago in our weekly Black Clover Chapter review, we explained how Yuno's necklace is connected to the Underworld, which can lead to two possible outcomes. Either Lucifero will use the magic stone to manifest his own body, or Yuno will use the magic stone to receive a power from the Underworld. Here's a quick summary of what we said a few days ago, so we are all on the same page. In addition, I will link the full video in the comments, so feel free to watch it after you finish this video. Yuno's necklace is a magic stone connected to the Underworld, as we saw in the elf reincarnation arc. Only devils and elves can use the stones without consequences, as they have enough mana to bypass the side effects without their bodies being affected. As we have seen for example with Sakura, Zagrod was able to use the magic stone to bring his own body into the world of the living, because inside the stone is a sealed spell that allows the user to draw from the Underworld whatever they desire. Aside from Lucifero possibly trying to use the stone to manifest his own body, Yuno is also able to use the magic stone now that his elven soul has fully awakened, and thus obtain power from the Underworld. So much to what we have explained in our last Black Clover video. That Yuno could receive demonic power like demon wind magic or devil power is something we actually said 8 months ago. But a lot has happened in the Black Clover manga since then, and we have also discovered a lot of new things that we didn't know back then when we made this theory. So that's why today an upgrade to this theory, as Yuno is now facing the king of the Underworld. There are 11 magic stones in total, and it is not known who created them, but we do know that the elves kept and guarded the stones. But why did the elves originally possess the magic stones? To understand the reason, we need to know who the elves really are. We know that the elves formed the 10 apostles of Sephira, representing each position of the Tree of Life, called the Kabbalah, which is the opposite of the evil twin, the Tree of Death, called the Cliffeth, which is also represented by 10 supreme devils. Thus, the Tree of Life is very closely connected to the Tree of Death. In particular, each position is the mirror image of the corresponding position of the Tree of Death. This means that the magic stones are connected to the corresponding positions on the Cliffeth, and not only to the Underworld in general. In the manga, Tetya had only 10 of the magic stones during the wedding, while in the anime she had all 11. Although Tabata, the creator of Black Clover, didn't change this in the manga, probably because it's not that relevant to the story and changing it would only lead to a mistake within the manga series. The anime also didn't change the number of magic stones back from 11 to 10, simply because it's not a mistake. There are 11 magic stones, 1 stone for each position of the Tree of Life. But wait, aren't there only 10 positions? Yes, there are 10 positions with 10 apostles and 10 Cliffeth devils, sometimes even 11 devils, but more on that in a moment. However, if we look more closely at the concept of the Tree of Life and Death, we see that there's actually a hidden position in both trees. And if we look more closely at the conceptual manifestation of the Tree of Life and Death in the Shadow Palace, we can see that the hidden position is actually a part of Black Clover, since this was the very same position when Zagrod revealed himself and where he used Yuno's magic stone to bring his own body into the world of the living. Therefore, there are 11 stones for 10 positions, with the additional 11th position literally making Yuno a false apostles of Sephira. This position is where all the positions in the Tree of Death and Life meet. It is sometimes even counted as a Sephira position instead of the first or last position, depending on what you consider the first or last position, top or bottom. By this I mean Licht's position on the Tree of Life 5 or Luciferos on the Tree of Death. But this hidden position that Yuno represents is often considered part of the third position as well. In relation to the devils, the first position is represented by the twin devils Satan and Moloch. Satan could probably be Lucifero in Black Clover, and Moloch could probably be the Time Devil, if not Astaroth, depending on which version of the three rulers of the underworld Tabata follows. Either the three highest positions on the Cliffeth, Satan, that is Lucifero, with Moloch and Beelzebub, or the evil trinity of hell, Lucifero, Beelzebub, and Astaroth. So depending on which version, the Cliffeth has either 10 devils or 11 if we include the twin devil who shares the position with Lucifero, who should then be the Time Devil. With 11 devils, the last gate frees 4 supreme devils, the 3 rulers of the underworld and Lucifugus, who is in the third position in this version. If Tabata follows the concept of 10 devils, then Lucifugus is logically in the 4th position, and thus not part of the last gate. In any case, Yuno's position in Magic Stone is only connected to either the first position, which is the position of Lucifero and his possible twin Time Devil, or the third position, which is then either again the Time Devil if there are 10 Supreme Devils, or Lucifugus if there are 11 Supreme Devils. Considering the Magic Stone's ability to draw from the underworld whatever the person using the stone desires, and the possibility that the stone is actually connected to the Time Devil's position, this would actually explain why Yuno was able to stop time in the dungeon just before Asta was defeated by Mars. Sylph has absolutely no way to stop time, and since the day Yuno stopped time, this has never happened again. So I highly doubt that this is some sort of hidden power that Sylph was able to use that day. So either Julius Novachrono or the Time Devil was guarding and protecting Yuno for some reason, stopping time for everyone but Yuno so that Yuno could defeat Mars. Or Yuno himself was able to stop time somehow. But since we know that neither wind nor star magic has this ability, there must be another reason. The only thing that could be related to time magic is the Magic Stone, which could actually be connected to the Cliffeth position of the Time Devil. In any case, it is certain that this stone can bring anything the user wants from the underworld, and at that moment Yuno wanted nothing more than more time to save Asta. He even specifically mentioned the word time, not having enough time, and then time stopped. Could it be that this ability to stop time was actually the power of the Magic Stone, using the magic of the Time Devil at that moment, because that was what Yuno wanted at that moment? Let me know in the comments if that makes sense. Before my partner Yami continues with this video, please take a moment to leave a like. With your support, we can create more Black Clover content for you. Thank you.
So if we assume that his necklace is only connected to one particular devil, then it can only be either Lucifugus or the Time Devil. However, Yuno's position could also be connected to the entire tree itself, and thus to all positions. So it could also be any other Supreme Devil if you're talking about a direct connection to all Supreme Devils. If this is the case, then it is possible that Yuno could use his necklace to use the power of one of the Supreme Devils, either with a pact or by force. However, if this magic stone is not connected to a specific Supreme Devil, but to the entire underworld as Zachary described, then it is possible that Yuno could simply obtain a power he desires without knowing exactly what power it is, as it happened in the dungeon. If Yuno's ability to stop time was the cause of the magic stone, as my partner has already explained, it is said that this stone can bring anything you wish from the underworld. If Yuno could unintentionally desire something from the underworld, for example, simply more power, this can happen to the effect of the stone without Yuno having a specific desire. Or maybe it is related to the current situation. Perhaps Yuno will then be able to use demon wind magic or wind magic from a wind devil. Many people have a problem accepting that Yuno will either rely on the power of a devil or get another magic ability, and we totally agree to that. Yuno ending up with 3 magic abilities might indeed be too much, especially now that he just got his star magic. Demon wind magic would still be acceptable though. In our opinion, especially a demon wind magic dive would look extremely sick. Furthermore, the power of a devil could contradict the principle of Yuno in Black Clover, who is the prodigy of mana and magic from the world of the living. Devil magic is more for Asta, and we fully agree with that. If Yuno were to suddenly use magic from the underworld like Asta, then the rivalry would be unbalanced, which could only be fixed if Asta were then given a real magic ability to balance the mirror image to Yuno again, which would mess up the principles of Black Clover even more. But we cannot ignore the attribute of this magic stone. And with it, the fact that Yuno is theoretically able to bring out magic out of the underworld whenever he wants. Whether he's aware of it or not, Yuno would most likely accept the power of the underworld, as was the case with Zenon, whose past is obviously a reference to Yuno. It's not that Yuno would ever sacrifice Asta as ruthlessly as Zenon sacrificed Alan, but that Yuno might desire the power of a devil because he needs to become stronger to protect the people he loves, just as Zenon wanted to protect the Spade Kingdom and therefore asked the devils for help, even though he never really wanted to do so originally, until the day he realized that the devils could give him the power he needs to ensure the safety of the Spade Kingdom, which in turn would explain the Black Clover exhibition of the Promise page, in which we see that something is about to happen to or between Yuno and Asta that resembles the broken promise of Zenon and Alan. So definitely a possibility, not to be underestimated with all the things Yuno has. A 4-leaf clover that could turn into a 5-leaf, the possibility of him turning into a dark elf, and even with the magic stone connected to the underworld, he would somehow take a different path than what we expect from him. While it's definitely possible, we personally think it might not fit the Black Clover theme. Depending on how well Tabata would execute that idea, we are definitely open to it, though we do see some difficulties in its implementation. The idea that Lucifero would use the magic stone for himself, as we explained a few days ago, would fit much better. And if the magic stone is also connected to a possible world of archangels, as described in the Tree of Life, then maybe the magic stone can not only draw everything from the underworld, but also everything from a possible opposite world, thus giving Yuno something like angelic power. So basically the same explanation, but with the consideration of the opposite properties. And so in conclusion, with this and the last video, we have now covered everything we need to know about the upcoming battle against Lucifero. Do you think the magic stone will play an important role in the upcoming fight? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to watch the video pinned in the comments about the second possibility, that Lucifero will use the magic stone for his own full manifestation. So that's it for today, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to smash the like button, and if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell turned on. See you guys in the next video. Yummy out.